dominated the world have used money to rule it and have ruled it in their own interest. It looks at a world economic system that has no regard for the poor, that has no regard for the small nations, that has no regard for the poor of the small nations. And the policy is a dignified policy, is not a violent policy, is not a policy of guns. It's a very honorable policy, but it is a very clear policy. It is a policy that calls the poor of the world to stand together, to stand firm together, to struggle together, to struggle for change, to struggle for justice, to struggle through organization, to struggle through will, to struggle through determination, to struggle to build a new kind of world in which your children and mine will walk with more dignity, with better housing, with better opportunity, with better prices, with better response from the World Monetary System. That is the world to which I call you. That is the world for which I struggle, and no power will turn me back from that world. And comrades, if you go and walk with me, if you go and step with me, if you go and move with me, we're moving as warriors. We're moving in determination. We're moving to struggle. We're moving to change that world. No power will turn us back.
Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green, dog. Me no chow chow. No. Ha 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 ho ho. Who ya know?
But if change is what we really want to see, ladies and gentlemen, then we must rise up. We must unite. We must advocate. We cannot remain silent. Where are the young men, the young women, the men, the women, the boys, the girls who will put aside political divide and do what is best for Jamaica? Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. Even our pledge, our national pledge, says before God and all mankind, we cannot see a better Jamaica unless we return to the foot of the cross. Jamaica under God must increase in beauty, fellowship and prosperity, and play our part.
If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
I said I'm happy every day as I travel through this land. I've been mighty blessed by God, and I'm holding to His hand. Yes, mommy, I see you. Yes, the journey is almost over. Shut up. And the battle is nearly won. And I have a feeling. I have a feeling in my heart. The best is yet to come. Sly Goffin over there, so wanna ready for it? Wanna get up now, man. Wanna get up now, man. I feel mad in this place. Let's go. I am happy every day as I travel through this land. I've been mighty blessed by God, and I'm holding to His. Over there, so I said the journey's almost over. I know the battle is nearly won, and I have a feeling in my heart the best is yet. Come on, church. I said the best is yet to come. When I walk through heaven's gates, yeah, I said the first time I'll see Jesus. I can hardly wait. And He showed me to a mansion and said, child, this is your home. And I have a feeling in my heart. You know this one? Listen, shut. Tell him.
Oh, you know. I want to hear the angels singing. I want to be in that number. I want to hear that trumpet song. We have done now. I want to hear archangel voice. I want to hear archangel. Oh, I want to hear when my name is called. I want to hear. Everybody know I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. Watch out now. I want to see the angel marching. I want to be in that number. I want to hear. I want to hear that trumpet song. I want to hear archangel voice. I want to hear. God bless you now. I want to hear. When my name is called, I want to hear. Everybody do so. If I'm not living for Christ, then I cannot be here. Get something and wave it. Get something and wave it. Get something out. If I'm not living for Christ, then I cannot be happy. Walk out, Christian, walk out, Christian. I only live my life to please. Send me rocking for the road and the star on my phone. I only live my life to please. Live up my life. Come on, man, we have done, man. Everybody so. Live up my life. Lift it, Jesus. This is silent night. What a holy night. But your virgin mother and child. Holy, so tender. Talk to me now. But sweetly, God bless you, God bless you. Let me tell some people, I know one prayer we pray. We pray in the night and we pray.
Blood and fire comrades who are in jungle tonight. On the nose that the word is love. Comrades, I come with a speech, but it's a different speech may I forgive tonight. But before I go into that, we have been saying all night that young people know say time come. And I want to bring up a young man who has looked for himself. Him read for himself. Him search for himself. And when him done, him realize that the only choice he could choose is the People's National Party. And I want to welcome Comrade Harry.
Hold on. We don't have much time. When I say time, you say come. Time. Senator Murray, somebody asked me, Perry, why aren't you a Labourite? Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green dog, me no chow-chow. No. Ha, ho, ho. Who you know? Underpants, Paolo. We don't get in
Hold on, cut in, man. Hold on.
Me coulda never green.
Hold on, no DJ, man. Hold on. I don't have much time. The next Prime Minister, let me shake your hand, so big up yourself, Mark Golding, Jensek, and brother, Dayton Campbell, doctor. Listen, in 1938, the People's National Party was formed out of the vision to help the poor people. It was born out of restlessness of the people seeking for better. And I believe that the People's National Party continues to be the answer for the people. Can I hear an amen? Hold on. In 1995, under the auspices of PJ Patson, the most honorable, there was a revitalization and an extension of the new National Youth Service Program, which gave young people the opportunity to earn Commander Man Church. It gave people the opportunity to better themselves. I don't have much time, but hear what? I hear the other people them say, you must choose Jamaica, but you can't choose Jamaica without choosing the people. God bless you.
Me coulda never green dog, me no chow-chow. No. Ha, ho. Me coulda never green dog, me no chow-chow.
Move your flag, comrades.
Comrades, I want to let you know that young man is the former guild president at the University of the West Indies. That is the kind of young people that we attract in the People's National Party.
A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption
deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with the political connections instead of benefiting the people. This government has been doing everything it can to weaken and undermine the Integrity Commission, which is an institution that I designed as Minister of Justice and brought the legislation to Parliament to fight corruption in this country. I have said it before and I will tell you again. Jamaica cannot move forward without a government built on integrity that embraces principles of good governance in this country.
Lightning and thunder for the JLP. Oh. Corruption in the nation. What a sticky situation. Always see a degradation. Innocent men at the station. Andrew and his cronies getting richer, them a big done. Talking about them helping out the poor. Tell me which one. Juliet, a speaker of the house, me can't believe it. Them mashing the housing trust, but people are go feel it. The JLP, them satanic and demonic. Now walk it, the use them prosper, only fit them pocket. I beg is hamping. Corruption in the nation. What a sticky situation. Always see a degradation. Innocent men at the station. Andrew and his cronies getting richer, them a big done. Talking about them helping out the poor. Tell me which one. Juliet, a speaker of the house, me can't believe it. Them machine the housing trust, but people are go feel it. The JLP, them satanic and demonic. Now walk it, the use them prosper, only fit them pocket. I beg you stop it. Corruption in the nation. What a sticky situation. Always. The perspective with Perry Cummings Jr. Big up yourself. The best is yet to come. These are my perspective. Telling you my perspective. These are my perspective to bring change that I feel me objective. Scandal after scandal. Look where Jamaica come to. Them a rob the money and a thief a lot too. Election tactics, what a disgrace. Them cut off ribbon and the place no safe. It's a prime minister. Are you me a address? Police a kill off the youth if you check. Talking about the way country are the best. But though this are my perspective, telling you my perspective. These are my perspective to bring change that I feel.
Blessings, 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 blessings to each and every one of you. A pleasant evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is the 26th of August 2026 and I'm so glad to be here one more time. How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat? Let me know how you're doing. Yes, let me know if everybody's doing well. It's always a pleasure to be here to have some conversations with my perspective family. Always a pleasure to be here. While Apache say want the song, I'm gonna post it up on YouTube, man. Don't worry yourself. It's just a dub really, but I can put that up for sure. So far persons are saying that they're okay. That's good to hear. Remember to like up the live, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching and you're not yet a subscriber, yes, please to touch the subscribe button. We're on the road to 13,000 subscribers. Yes, Lorraine says that she's on top of her grave
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a lot to be grateful for. Yes, the song says, Jesus, keep me near the cross. There a precious fountain, free to all a healing stream, flows from Calvary's mountain. In the cross, in the cross, be my glory ever, till my raptured soul shall find rest beyond the river. Near the cross a trembling soul, love and mercy found me. There the bright and morning star shed his beams around me. In the cross, come on, be my glory ever, till my raptured soul shall find rest beyond the river. Near the cross, O Lamb of God, bring its scenes before me. Help me walk from day to day with its shadow o'er me. In the cross, yes, in the cross, be my glory ever, oh, till my raptured soul shall find rest beyond the river. The last verse is, near the cross I'll watch and wait, hoping, trusting ever, till I reach the golden strand just beyond the river. In the cross, yes, in the cross, won't you be my glory ever, till my raptured soul shall find rest beyond the river, till my raptured soul shall find rest beyond the river. In the cross, oh, in the cross, won't you be my glory ever, till my raptured soul shall find rest beyond the river. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. This is The Perspective, and I'm your host, Perry Cummins Jr. Please remember, as you come in, you mark the register by liking up the live. Let me know where you're viewing from so that we can get right into the discussions. I won't hold you for very long tonight, but we will definitely go through a few things this evening. God is good. East Portland is here. Blessings to everybody over there in the east. Wild Apache is out of Orlando. Maxine Cummins out of Hartford CT. Cumberland, Portmore, Mona, Falmouth, Trelawney, Princess Street, Blessup, Portmore Pines, Brooklyn, Aurora, Queens, New York, Southfield, St. Elizabeth, Yukon, Canada, Maypen, Clarendon, Bronx, New York, man. Bless up to everybody over there in Port Antonio. Yes, Islington, St. Mary, New Jersey. Yes, Listowel, Ontario, Canada. Maryland, above rocks. Ypres, bless up North Carolina. Blessings to each and every one of you tuning in from all over the world. Burlington, Canada. Bless up to all of my Canadian friends, man. I tell you, Canada is large and in charge tonight. Oh, Corona. You remember Corona? Lord, Corona, but not the virus. Blessings. Wisconsin, Avon Park. Blessings, Loidersville, St. Catherine. I'm doing well for those who are asking. Kingston 20 is here. Ian Nathan, blessings. Baltimore, Maryland, blessings to you all. Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. Pauline Taylor, blessings to you. Carol Banton, blessings. Friday Things is from Clarendon, but in Canada now, tuning in. Blessings to you. Somebody said that they're in the office working like a dog. I pray that the Lord will give you some rest, if it's even for a minute. If the commentary here tonight can carry you through your job while you're at the office, well, that is my contribution to your life, man. I hope I make the work easy as you listen. Treat it as a radio station. Yes, blessings to everybody from St. Elizabeth. Oh, I almost forget the little radio voice. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to The Perspective Live, starting sharp at 6 p.m. Yes, we're glad to have you here out of Seaview Gardens. Blessings to everybody from England, coming out of Canada. Blessings to you all, everybody, everywhere from all over the country. Yes, Carol Banton, I will be in St. Elizabeth on the 28th of August 2026. As you know, I do have a lot to do. Yes, so I will be in St. Elizabeth. I hope I can meet the Member of Parliament for Carol Banton's constituency. I would like to have a link up with Luke Jess because I do have a few back to school bags for her. You know, the Perspective family wants to give back to the community. Blessings to you. I pray I see you laughing in the comment section. Please remember to like up the live, and if you're watching and you don't get to subscribe, well, please to subscribe as we're on the road to 13,000 subscribers. Blessings to you. You know, say I'm not doing any more radio vibes because all I do is laugh off of me. I'm in the foolishness. Yes, I am not in the foolishness with any. We're not laughing off of me and I can't bother with it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a few things to discuss. It no look good, ladies and gentlemen. It no look good. It doesn't look good at all. The health sector is underwater. No, ladies and gentlemen, the health sector is not at a place where we can feel comfortable. Blessings to Moko Clarendon. Why, Samuel? You laugh, man. You don't like the radio voice? Alright, big up on yourself. But ladies and gentlemen, when we say that health is failing in the country, we're not saying, oh, health is doing, there's room for improvement. No. It's not even about any room for improvement now. Health has failed in our country. It is at a place now where we need a revolution. For those who are asking, I am going to be a guest speaker at the Bethel Moravian College. Carol, so it go. The Bethel Moravian, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. I'm going to be a guest speaker at their orientation in the morning this Friday. So, for those who may want to meet up, especially my Perspective family, I am looking out for you. Yes, I'm going to be there. So, we look forward to interacting with those students, seeing how best we can leave an impact and just share with them, encourage them as they are about Bethlehem, not Bethel. Bethlehem. The Bethlehem Moravian College. Yes, not Bethel. Bethlehem. Alright? So I'll be there in the morning. I should be back in time for the evening program, at least for Friday, because that's a morning engagement. And St. Elizabeth is not that far like one time, so far like one time. So I'm going to be having a good time with the young people there. Yes, health and wellness in Jamaica is a total disaster.
Stepping over dead bodies, treating patients on the ground, rodent infestation. Just some of the circumstances nurses at the Cornwall Regional Hospital say they have been working in for months now. The nurses are protesting what they say are long-standing inhumane conditions for both staff and the patients. Akeem Oret has been tracking the story.
No more rats! No more rats! We tired anymore! We tired anymore!
Frustrated and overworked, these are nurses from the Cornwall Regional Hospital Friday morning, protesting what they describe as inhumane working conditions. The nurses insist the challenges predated Hurricane Melissa but have worsened since.
We have to be taking care of patients on the floor. That's not hygienic. Patients sitting on the chair for a week, 3 weeks or more. We don't have enough bed space to care for our patients effectively. That's not safe for our patients. We're crying out here for our patients and for ourselves.
They lament the nurse-to-patient ratio is too burdensome, putting both staff and patients at risk.
We, of course, don't have enough staff to manage all of these patients. Sometimes you have one nurse to 50 people, 30 people. Makes no sense.
There are currently over 100 patients in the area, and it's supposed to house maybe about 35. Yes. And my nurses have to code patients that is provide resuscitative care on the floor. That is inhumane. And at this time, the nurses just cannot take anymore. We even have some rodent infestation. They have communicated before, and we still haven't gotten a response.
Patients are also outraged. One visitor from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dominic Prince, was admitted to the hospital for a heart condition. But for him, the condition at the facility is worse than his heart.
I don't care what anybody wants to say.
Sit down on chair.
Sit down on chair from yesterday. Right? And they still want me to stay back. I gotta sign myself out. I can't live like that. I'm a human being and not a dog. Because you cannot have a person sit down in a chair all night and say you're checking them. It's gonna be worse.
Yes, man.
What can you do for a person sitting in a chair and they don't get comfortable sleep? I'm leaving now.
The nurses are now pleading with the relevant authorities to address the long-standing issues, warning that failure to act could result in even more serious consequences. Akeem Oret, CVM News.
Nobody is exaggerating, ladies and gentlemen. We have no reason to do so. Christopher Tufton, I remembered when you were over by the Fix. I believe that's the name of that podcast. And one of the hosts told you to your face that the health care system in Jamaica is in a crisis. And you didn't like the word crisis. You said I wouldn't say a crisis. And the lady said, no man, it is in shambles, it is in a crisis. That is the truth, Tufton. I'm not sure if you're delusional. I'm not sure if you have intentionally allowed yourself to live a lie. But it doesn't matter how indifferent you seem to the realities of Jamaicans as it relates to our healthcare system. The realities are staring us in our faces. And the truth is, the Jamaica healthcare system has failed and we have a crisis in healthcare.
We have a crisis in healthcare. People are walking over dead bodies. I don't think the nurses and the doctors are exaggerating, Mr. Tufton. I know you would like to gaslight them. And I know the supporters of the GLP will be right there to brand everybody as supporters of the People's National Party once they become critical of the government, or they begin to criticize the leadership or try to hold the government accountable for their failures. All of a sudden, everybody a PNP, everybody a comrade, just because people are speaking the truth. Well, if it means that for everybody who will speak the truth are branded as comrades, so be it. But the Minister of Health, Karel Banton, he has become a blogger. He's parading the streets, having conversations about things that are irrelevant to fixing this crisis that we have here. That is affecting the poorer class of this country. And that is where I really want to start the program and to bring the conversation. What makes it a bother for me, ladies and gentlemen, is that oftentimes when you have a crisis like poor healthcare, who is the one that normally feels the pressure because of a poor healthcare system in Jamaica? Which class in society is negatively impacted by poor healthcare? Dilapidated hospitals, short staff, no medicine available, no tools, a lack of resources. When you look at it, ladies and gentlemen, the rich, those from the upper echelons of society, they won't come out and protest unless the Lord move upon their hearts, because they can fly out or they can go to the private hospitals. They don't have to join in any protests and block no road because of poor health care. Because when you look at it, there is a distinction between public health care and private health care. And in Jamaica, I recognize a trend. That is the reason why democratic socialism is so important. Because when it comes to the democratic socialist movement, the playing field is leveled. And everybody, whether you're rich or you're poor, would have had access to quality health care. But when you are under capitalism, and in my book another word for capitalism is JLPism, when you're under JLPism, the public hospitals that were established primarily to benefit and to provide service to the poorer class, those are the hospitals that are dilapidated. Those are the hospitals that are neglected. Those are the hospitals where people go in with one sickness and they come out dead. Not with another sickness. They come out dead in body bags. Why is it that in Jamaica, the services that were established for the public, for the majority, for the poorer class, it always come with poor service, low quality? That is always the case. It shouldn't have to be like that. Same thing when you come to the public schools. Most of the public schools, them look run down.
They streamlined the best teachers at certain schools. I believe it was Mary who called yesterday, reminding us of the apartheid education system, where if you are from a certain class in society, you are subjected to experience a type of service and a certain quality of life. But if you're from another class, then it is as if you are obligated to receive good quality. It shouldn't have to be this way. If you now go Andrew Memorial Hospital, if you now go to the Tony Thwaites wing up by Huey, if you now go to the private, you're in problems. Look at the Cornwall Regional Hospital. That is a major scandal. Look how much billions of dollars we were told. The Cornwall Regional Hospital scandal centers on massive cost overruns, prolonged delays, and severe operational crisis at the major health facility in Montego Bay, Jamaica. What began as an estimated $2 billion repair project has ballooned to over $23.5 billion, marking a massive cost overrun over nearly a decade of work. It shouldn't continue like this, ladies and gentlemen. What all of that money do? Why Cornwall Regional Hospital can't reach a place where it is at least satisfactory to meet the needs of the people? Tufton, what did the money do? And from ever since the People's National Party and public advocates have labeled the mismanaged project as a national embarrassment and called for special audits by the Auditor General to investigate accountability and resource allocation, I am echoing that call today. Let us resurrect the call for the independent audits. It cannot continue like this, ladies and gentlemen. But as Dr. Dawes said, we have an accountability problem. Who was held accountable for all of the hanky-panky that took place at the University Hospital up by Mona? 10 years you renovate a hospital, Betty, and all know we can be at least at a satisfactory level. We all know levels of satisfaction. And you're telling me that we can't look at the Cornwall Regional Hospital up to now and can say at least it is in a good condition. $20 billion with a B. But there is a problem with the Andrew Holness administration. And I hate to sound like a carrier of bad news, and I'm not a pessimistic person overall. But as a realist, I'd like to communicate to you all that the Andrew Holness will never do better because they don't believe in improving the resources. They don't believe in making life better for the average Jamaican citizen, aka poor people. Paulina tell us in the chat, my brother sat in a chair for 6 days at the Spanish Town Hospital and he died in that same chair. My God, condolences to you, Pauline. Our hospitals, they have become death sentences. People are afraid to go to the doctor. Six days at the Spanish Town Hospital, died in the very same chair. But we heard of the $80 million in the market, me.
I wonder if some of the money out of the so-called $20 billion where them claim to spend, if some might never go out in a market me and other places that we don't know about. Money just a wash left, right and center in this country. Nobody's been held accountable. I'm sick and tired of it, ladies and gentlemen. This needs to change. Nobody is being held accountable. It is just another day in Jamaica. It's just another day in Jamaica. We cannot live like this. That is all I know, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot continue like this. The Minister of Health, he is so indifferent. Nothing bothers him. He is just not concerned about what is happening. He prefers to see people continuing on their path of underperformance in the health sector, because he said that no firing will fix the issue. So he prefers for the incompetent people, who means the Ministry of Health no good, to continue earning big salaries, being paid. Dre Bryan in the chat, blessings to you. He prefers for people to sit down in their jobs, getting millions of dollars, big paychecks. People are still getting paid up by the university hospital. People who were integral, they were intimately involved in the scandals that took place up there. Nobody's been sacked. And I remembered when Mark Golding said it in the debates under the Andrew Holness administration, instead of people being fired, they get a slap on the wrist. A slap on the wrist. And they're placed in a naughty corner over by OPM. That's where them go. That's what happened with J.C. Hutchinson. The nepotism, blatant nepotism, running with the Integrity Commission. Despite the ruling of the Integrity Commission, you know what the Jamaica Labour Party administration said? He was already demoted to some role. So, you know, it is enough. That was enough punishment for him. 2,400 acres of land. What came out of it? A slap on the wrist. That is the reason why corruption will never end under the Jamaica Labour Party. It will never end. Same Cornwall Regional Hospital. Doctors and nurses are protest every other day. Severe overcrowding, space constraints, unsafe working conditions. Patient care crisis worsened by infrastructural setbacks and environmental concerns. Sanitation and rodent issues. Not because you are all rats. Jamaica Labour Party government means that you don't allow rats to run up and down side of the people in the hospital beds. It's not good. That's not right. Reports emerge of patients receiving emergency or resuscitative care directly on the floor. On the floor. Due to the lack of available beds. Thank God we have some good MPs like Isaac Buchanan that brought in some beds by the Port Antonio Hospital some time ago. And I heard that some other medical supplies are on their way. People are fear do operations on the ground because there are no beds. And this is the health system that the Jamaica Labour Party wants me to praise. by December, Sir C. Thank you. This is the health system that the Jamaica Labour Party supporters are saying, Perry, you can praise the government for health care. Are you mad? Are you sick? Have you lost your screws? In the year 2026, we should never have to be protesting about lack of beds in our hospitals. Aren't we living in modern society? Can't we model some of the healthcare system that is working well? Canada, Cuba has a good healthcare system. But the GLP not like Cuba, you know. History is just repeating itself. They don't want to study Cuba, J. Brian, and learn a thing or two. Because Edward Siaga them fight out the PNP because Michael Manley was good friend with Cubans. But if we took a page out of Cuba's book where health is concerned, Jamaica would have been a better place. You know, I thought that Jamaica was going to erupt when we heard that the Cuban doctors were sent back to Cuba. I thought that would have been the hair that broke the camels back in this country, because both labor rights and PNP all can say that we have benefited from the Cuban doctors being in Jamaica. Hardworking people, loving people. They are the ones who are willing to go to the rural spaces, the rural clinics, and the rural institutions to help the people. But Jamaica, everybody fold them hand, and everybody was all right with that. To make matters worse, the severing of this Cuban relationship, Jamaica-Cuban relationship, where our health sector is concerned, it happened when there was no alternative in place. Surgeries were stalled. Our hospitals were the government sabotaged its own people. Sabotaged its own people. Put people's life at risk. Stalled surgeries and eye surgeries. No replacement. But because of the United States of America, again, interfering in our politics and in our governance, because it is a Jamaica Labour Party government, that is the government of the day. And because of that relationship between the imperialism of the United States and the Jamaica Labour Party, they are working together to weaken democratic socialism. That is what the fight is about. That has always been the fight. That was how the JLP was born. The Jamaica Labour Party was born for one purpose and for one purpose only, and it was to fight against democratic socialism, ladies and gentlemen.
So them are fire, and if the enemy are fire, you can't stand up like stooge. You can't go on like a fool. You have to fire back. Somebody load up and say pop, 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 pop. Lord God, badam, bam, bam, bam. Jesus Christ, what is what pop, 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 pop. Jesus Christ, war tonight, Bishop. Warfare tonight. Warfare. Badam, bam, bam, bam. Boom, boom.
This, ladies and gentlemen, should not be taken lightly. Remember to like up the live, ladies and gentlemen. This should not be taken lightly. I called for his resignation before, And I am calling for the resignation again. But you know, to be very honest, if Tufton should resign, is who the Jamaica Labour Party government would put as the Minister of Health. The entire JLP needs to go. Their ideologies will not help Jamaica. Their ideologies will not see to it that healthcare improves in Jamaica. The entire JLP needs to go. Doesn't make sense. You get rid of Mr. Tufton and bring in back another Labour right. Because their ideologies are all the same. Poor people must suffer. Poor people must fight. Poor people have to live in a depression every day because there's nobody there to give them a start. Democratic socialism is not saying we should be feeding people all the days of our lives. That's not what it promotes. It is about giving people a start. So instead of just giving you a fish every time you're hungry, democratic socialism will provide you with the knowledge of how you can fish and you can catch as many fishes as possible. Till you start move from the fish, you start catch shrimp and whatever other seafood you want, lobster you start catch. That is what we promote here. But the Jamaica Labour Party is not for that. Before we take our first break, I want to remind you of something though that I saw in the media. Mr. Julian Robinson is flagging the 28.6 billion tax revenue shortfall. We touched on it, but I want to remind you that this is also a part of the problem. Under the capitalism of the Jamaica Labour Party, the people them own up them big business, them rich company, them this and them that, they can get away with murder, literally.
Opposition spokesman on finance Julian Robinson's raising red flags over the state of the government's finances. He's warning of mounting fiscal pressures at a time when many Jamaicans are already feeling the squeeze. He says the numbers are cause for serious concern. Crystal Williams has the details.
Opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, says the latest Ministry of Finance report shows tax collections are $28.6 billion below target, raising questions about how government intends to close the revenue gap. Robinson says the government's handling of the economy has been too slow, with the pace of recovery failing to meet the hand.
We have had 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth, which means we are in a recession. We are likely to have a 3rd quarter of negative growth. And the main reason why the economy continues to flounder, we knew we had Hurricane Melissa, which would have triggered at least 1 quarter. But the very slow pace of recovery by the government is what is contributing to the negative growth. It is taking too long, particularly for those who are in the affected parishes in the West, to get the assistance so that they can get back on their feet.
The shadow finance minister is also questioning the government's fiscal position, pointing to what he says is a widening gap between projected and actual revenue.
The latest report coming out of the Ministry of Finance showed that we had a shortfall of $28.6 billion in tax revenues. $28.6 billion. Now the only way that can be solved is by the government reducing expenditure to meet the revenue shortfall. Or they may have to take money from the capital budget, which quite frankly we have underspent for the last 5 or 6 years. And the capital budget is necessary to drive the economic growth.
And Robinson says the government's shortcomings have been particularly evident in its response to those still grappling with the fallout from Hurricane Melissa.
None of us have control over natural disasters, but what government has control over is how quickly we recover, and they are failing at the pace of recovery. that have been affected, small businesses, so far have received no assistance in the affected parishes. So you must expect that you will have a shortfall in tax revenues if you haven't provided the support to those businesses that have been most affected.
Crystal Williams, CVM News.
I know some persons may not have heard Sir Julian Robinson that clearly, but you get the gist of what he's saying. It cannot be, ladies and gentlemen, that some people are not required or they are not reprimanded for not paying taxes. But everybody else, because them poor, supposed to pay. The rich, and this is one of the cons of capitalism. Only the poor is paying taxes. And that's why the rich keeps on getting richer. Well, the Bible did say it, you know. The Bible did say it. Bible can't lie. Let me quote the Bible. The Bible said it. Matthew 25:29. Well, and Luke 8:18, Mark 4:25. All of these scriptures tell you. Proverbs 22:7. It all alludes to this oppression that we see. Because the rich, the capitalists, they've created this system called capitalism, where the poor remains poor and them rich friend only get richer. Oh, do they maintain this trend? This is one of the reasons why I don't like capitalism. Look how much people now pay tax. A lot of the big companies, if you check it out, them are friend with government. Government now asks them to pay up the money. Just recently, you know, for 6 consecutive years we heard about the new Falmouth Resorts Limited. Now pay them property taxes for 6 consecutive years, you know. How is it that the government allowed New Falmouth Resorts Limited to be there for 6 years and don't pay property taxes? Those are the taxes that could have helped Jamaica to move forward even further. We need everybody to play a part. Not just, it cannot be that the poor already not being paid enough. Remember that the Prime Minister only put $1,000 upon the minimum wage, you know. But taxes increase. So the $1,000 where you put upon the minimum wage, that done burn up already. It's like you never get nothing at all. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's like you never get nothing at all. But we are the ones that are expected to pay tax for everything. We have to pay the tax. But because we not no rich friend, because we not come from certain family, because we not come from certain lineage, because we black, we have to pay tax. But look how much people are run from the taxes in this country. And Head Boy said it better today. Mark Golding is a businessman. My father is a businessman. But let me tell you a little, and probably I should allow Cersei to tell you how he operates with his business. Though you make a business with the aim, you create a business or start a business with the aim of making a profit. My father don't abuse his workers. A lot of the times, my father could have behaved like a capitalist and blacklist people and mistreat people and overwork people and exploit people and pay them little to nothing at all. A lot of the times, I see Cersei him prefer do without and ensure that the people who are working for him are paid, because he is a socialist at heart. And a lot of persons close to him don't really like how him go about it at times. Because it would seem as if the business is not where it should be. Because of his decisions to ensure that the people are okay. Mark Golding is a socialist at heart. And that is the reason why Mark Golding, out of his own pocket, a lot of people don't want to talk about this, out of his own pocket, he runs a modest scholarship program in his constituency where he helps hundreds of students in his constituency. I was a beneficiary of one of those grants. I am a beneficiary of Mark Golding's democratic socialism. When I was guild representative for the Faculty of Social Sciences, I reached out to Mark long before me know nothing about PNP and start no PNP. I WhatsApped Mark Golding and we had a conversation. And he assisted me. And he did it sincere. Not because you own a business with the aim of making a profit means that you should go around and exploit the poor, take advantage of people, pay them little and nothing. You don't have to do that. You can be a socialist and have your business, a successful business too. But under the JLPism, aka capitalism, the rich and the powerful, them not pay no tax. Them not pay none. So the country is underfunded because people are evading the taxes. And the little that the poor man, so them not no sense, you know. If a man is earning $10, ladies and gentlemen, and another man is earning $5, who should be taxed more? The man that is earning the $10 or the man that is earning the $5? Shouldn't you tax people according to what they earn? Isn't that fair? How can you expect to tax the man who earn $10, $5, and the man who earn the $5, you still tax him the $5? One man is going to still have $5 in his pocket, but there is another man who will not have anything in his pocket. And that is the type of JLP government that we are seeing today. Democratic socialism will ensure, ladies and gentlemen, that everybody benefit. And that is what we want to communicate to the people of this country. Our health is in shambles in this country. Our healthcare system is in shambles today because the ideologies of the Jamaica Labour Party, it is flawed. Let us take a break. When we come back, we'll touch on some more issues. Soon come. Remember to like the live, ladies and gentlemen.
And Pearl Therapy, we are here to help you to bring ultimate relaxation to your feet. Our hot stone, Swedish, and deep tissue massage services are here to help you to get rid of tensions, minor swellings, and aches and pain, increase flexibility and circulation. If you are having any heart or circulatory diseases, then this might not be for you. Reach out to us and let's see if you can secure yourself with a foot massage for as low as $4,500. Thank you for choosing Pearl Therapy, the healing hub.
Are you frustrated with your skincare? Are you tired of acne, blemishes, scars, sagging skin, wrinkles, discoloration? Why not enjoy our wide array of products from skin, hair, and personal care? Place your frustration on our shoulders, and we will get you smiling again. The power of our products are in our formulation and ingredients. Listen to our customer testimonial. This is what she has to say.
Oh my gosh, look at my face. I've been using these products for a year, exactly 1 year. If you have not tried them, you need to try them. They really work. Look at my skin.
Visit our website or contact us at 917-557-6204. Make it Tony and Organics and order yours today.
Food is designed to be felt, not just tasted. Soft warmth, gentle richness, a harmony that melts effortlessly on the tongue. At Cummings Exquisite Caterers, every dish is an invitation, guided by passion, finished with elegance. We cater for life's most meaningful moments, elegant weddings, private celebrations, and much more. With a serene repast center just 10 minutes away from 2 major cemeteries. We are located at 38 Dublin Spanish Town Road. Reach out to us, 876-573-9124. Cummings Exquisite Caterers, where desire meets time.
Our first social media question tonight comes from Instagram. Shania in Kingston, she says, low voter turnout suppresses the effectiveness of a democratic society. Many Jamaicans refuse to vote because they believe both parties are corrupt. What would you say to the significant population of non-voters? And if elected, how will you hold politicians accountable for offenses against the people instead of protecting them?
So in this instance, the question, you have 90 seconds to answer, and we begin with Dr. Holness.
Corruption is a serious problem in our country, and corruption requires strong leadership. From my position as Prime Minister, I have taken action against any member of my political party that has been involved or accused of anything that suggests corruption. In my own case, I have been investigated for a year with an expert forensic auditor. The findings of that report have suggested no corruption. There have been no charges. Every aspect of my report, every aspect of my personal life and my personal financial details are in the public domain. I am the politician about which Jamaica knows the most. And therefore, I am the politician who can stand with the greatest moral authority to treat with any matter that is considered corrupt, as I have done in the past. And I want to give this assurance to the Jamaican people that you know me, you know about me, you can trust me, and you know that I stand against corruption.
Mr. Golding has the opportunity to respond to that social media question as well.
Andrew, what they know about you is that you have 28 bank accounts, that you received several $1 million in cash deposits from anonymous donors in your bank account, that your companies had transactions of over $400 million, several thousand transactions between them, and that Positive Jamaica Foundation, a non-profit which you are intimately connected with, provided resources which you use for personal investments through your personal company. We have signed the Leadership Code of Conduct developed by Integrity Commission. All of our spokespersons and myself have signed. None of your people have signed it. I am committed to ensuring that all members of the executive, when we form government, will have their Integrity Commission declarations published, not just the leader of the opposition and what should happen, but hasn't happened in your case because you're not certified, the Prime Minister. So the whole question that has been asked is an excellent question. And we really need to step up our vigilance against corrupt behavior, nepotism and cronyism. The volume of scandals under this Jamaica Labour Party government is unprecedented. Over the number of ministers who have had to be removed from frontline duty, many of them parked in the naughty corner in OPM rather than being sacked. It is a disgrace to the country, and your personal situation where you're operating under a deep cloud because your Integrity Commission declarations are not certified, also is something which Jamaica cannot go forward with.
Classic Mark Jefferson Golding. You know, last year during the debates, while we were all watching it live, I'm telling you, the room erupted when Mark Golding pulled out that birth certificate. I'm telling you, that was when I told persons that I don't believe Andrew Holness is a good orator. I'm not sure why persons like to say he's good with his words. No, he's not. And I expected that Mark Golding, being the lawyer, being the best legislator in this country, would have outclassed him on the night of the debates, which he did. There were some parts of the debate where Andrew Holness was losing his cool, and Archibald Gordon had to calm him down, and Mark Golding had to say, no, you don't have the power to do that. He was trying to talk over Mark Golding because Mark Golding was hitting him where it hurts. But you know, I'm just happy that we have all the proof to show that last year it wasn't a fault of the People's National Party. A lot of people, they voted for KFC and the $5,000, and a lot of them are asking for the Prime Minister to choose them because they chose Jamaica. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going back to the Cooper's Pen issue in Trelawney. I'm happy to hear from Dion Jackson Miller highlighting that the men, yes, I hear that they have a very strong case against the state for what took place in Cooper's Pen. Detaining the men for what reason? We're still trying to figure that out. But the opposition came out to address this whole issue of housing and the entire matter, which is just a deplorable state of affairs. Look at what Jamaica has become. Please to like up the live, ladies and gentlemen, and if you're watching and you're not yet a subscriber, touch the subscribe button. Listen to this.
Now, opposition spokesman on housing, Professor Senator Floyd Morris, says it's been 4 years since apartments were sold to residents of Ruthven Towers in New Kingston, and to this day, he says they are still without proper documentation and several amenities. Senator Morris says the project, which was promoted as a new model of housing development, was done through the National Housing Trust, NHT, and the Prime Minister. He's now demanding answers from the government for perceived delays. Natasha Williams reports.
Unacceptable and disgraceful. That's how opposition spokesperson on housing, Senator Floyd Morris, has described the delays he says residents of Ruthven Towers apartments in New Kingston are faced with after allegedly waiting on their land titles for 4 years.
The homeowners have not received proper documentation for the apartments that they have purchased for $28 million for 1 bedroom and $38 million for 2 bedrooms. And I regard this situation as scandalous and disgraceful because the homeowners in this apartment deserve to be treated better by their government.
The statements were made in a press release on Monday, in which the senator also criticizes the process as a failure on the government to honor his commitments to the Ruthven.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This
residents. Mr. Morris is demanding clear answers and reasons for the holdup.
The government has given these individuals a 6 for a 9. Is the government of Jamaica and the National Housing Trust the legitimate owners of the land where this apartment complex was built? when will the Housing Trust and the government of Jamaica complete the amenities that were promised to the homeowners in this housing development?
On the heels of several homes being demolished in Trelawney recently, Mr. Morris also demands that the Ruthven residents should be informed on whether the delay is due to what he said could be an illegal land settlement.
Did the NHT receive approval for this housing development without proper documentation of ownership for the land? These are legitimate questions that the government and the National Housing Trust needs to answer. The residents, the homeowners of Ruthven Towers apartment deserves better.
The opposition spokesman on housing vowed to continue pressing the government and the National Housing Trust, NHT, for clarity on this matter until the residents of Ruthven Towers apartments receive the documents and amenities he said they were promised. Natasha Williams, CVM News.
Now, the opposition People's National Party, PNP, has confirmed its 6 regional chairpersons for the
Ladies and gentlemen, what type of nonsense is this? I've been hearing about this Ruthven Towers situation for some time, 4 years? 4 years? So, where is it, Mr. Holness? Where are you? Thank you for the 10 jewels, Barry Clark. Mr. Prime Minister, you've been awfully silent since the Cooper's Pen issue, The silence is deafening. Where is the Prime Minister in all of this? We've not heard anything from the government. The people in Cooper's Pen, have they been relocated? Are they in any shelters, ladies and gentlemen? Is it that they're still under the tents? I don't know. Where's the Prime Minister in all of this? State resources was used. Where is the Prime Minister in all of this? I came across an article and I'm going to read it while we're on the whole business of housing titles and all of that. I think it's very important that I read this article here. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm disappointed. And probably you would say, Perry, you shouldn't be disappointed, because this is the Jamaica Labour Party. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be very honest. I didn't expect that the third term would be this bad. This bad? I didn't expect it to be this atrocious. I'm being very, 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 very honest. I did not expect the third term to be this terrible. And nobody can tell me say that nobody expected the third term to turn out like this. This is a disgrace. Nothing is operating the way it should. My God. I'm gonna read an article here by let me see if I see this person's name. I don't see the name, or I might get it. Hold on, I'm getting a call. Hello, good night. Caller, you're live. Go ahead.
Yes, brother, good night.
Good night.
For that person get that thing good, for that person get that thing honest, he can't carry, I remember say the Bible say, Jesus say, him put no blessing in a dirty vessel. You understand? So for them, get a thing good, it can't prosper us.
Yes.
It cannot bless, it can't progress. Kind of come honest.
And that's why third term I beat people bad and all of these things, Lord.
Exactly. They kind of come honest, like cannot carry, it cannot prosper us. Yeah, man. Mighty God.
Alright, thank you, y'all.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, what are these great? I'm not gonna tell you. I have to be honest. I didn't know that the third term would be. You know that is almost every other day. Something scandalous take place in this country under the government. Almost every ladies and gentlemen, no week, no pass. No week, labor right in the chat. Be honest. Be honest. Not 1 week pass good. And you don't hear something damning. This is not natural. This is not natural. I know there's no perfect government. There's no perfect government. I'm not saying that any government is perfect and would be free of any problems. But my God, ladies and gentlemen, if 1 week pass, if 1 week has passed since them get the third term and something scandalous now happen, please tell me. I am ready to be corrected. Ladies and gentlemen, every month there is something for us. Every day there is, I was saying this to, it is so easy. It is so easy. Hear this a labor writer in the chat. We're going to read the article, but hear this a labor writer now. Tell me if some of these labor rights not forget a figurative broadboard, because I'm not going to beat literally, But tell me if labor rights not forget a broadboard. JLP is doing okay. The best is yet to come. Prosperity is coming. Hold on a little while longer. JLP, PLP, everybody hold on a little while longer. Prosperity is coming.
Fully done.
Oh no, the prosperity can't come. Huh? The prosperity that they labor right. Stop wire waste faith. Stop waste faith in the Anjolis administration. But prosperity is coming. Oh no, prosperity can't.
Aim. Sakata. We are mash up, Fire under the Holy Ghost. Every crisis, every condition, every operation of hell. Fire, Bishop. I got your back. Fire. Jesus Christ, watch the operation. Watch the operation. Jesus Christ, Eastwood Park Road. Come on. Cover your pastor. Going, Bishop. Going, Bishop. Take down the Illuminati. Take down the voodoo. Take down the Freemason. Take down the witches. Take down the warlock. Take down the Wabiaism. Him under the Holy Ghost, left him.
Ladies and gentlemen, miss sorry for the labor rights. Oh God. Prime Minister beat them bad. No man, Prime Minister. You have the labor rights out here ball. I say prosperity will come. Just hold on a little longer. There is no prosperity under the Jamaica Labour Party. At least not for you. And not for regular citizens. Regular civilians will never experience the prosperity that the Prime Minister preached. 10 years. 10 long years. And we are yet to see a shift in the right direction. Pauline Taylor soon. Remind me of when Bobby Montague come and tell we say soon. Huh? Let me read this article about the law of adverse possession. I think it is very important for me to read this. I want to read this. The writer says, like so many of the vestiges of the law in the colonial era, the law governing adverse possession of property is crying out for attention and reform. Adverse possession in Jamaica is a product of English common law, which was intended to prevent land from lying idle or abandoned. Follow me, perspective family. In the present iteration of the law, if someone moved onto another person's property and remained undisturbed for 12 years, openly and continuously, then that person would become eligible by law to file for possession of that land. The accent is on undisturbed. For if the legitimate owner should visit the property anytime within that 12-year period and simply put a non-trespassing sign on the land, the occupier has been disturbed, and one suspects another 12-year period would begin if the owner did not put him off the land. The iniquity of the legal provision is demonstrated in the fact that while the government allows 60 years for adverse possession of crown land, state land, or government land, the ordinary person with his title for even a 1/4 acre can lose it in 12 years. Go figure. However, the process of adversely possessing another person's property is not as easy as it appears on the surface. A tedious process through the courts is often anticipated. What gives me grave concern is the principle of one's right to one's land, and that the law encourages people to occupy other people's land and rewards the occupiers by giving them possession after 12 years. We're going to read through this article. It's a very interesting one. I am no lawyer, says the writer, but in the first place, it should be illegal for anyone to enter another person's property and disfigure it in any way without the owner's permission. This is so whether the person is farming the land or putting a board or concrete structure on it. The fact that the owner, for reasons best known to himself or herself, has not visited the property in 12 years should not be a reason for any government to say to an illegal occupier, I am trying hard not to use the word squatter or squatting, as these evoke problems that besmirch the efforts of many poor Jamaicans just wanting a place to live, and it is okay to do what you are doing. Listen to the writer. The writer is very cheeky. Let us be clear. Land tenure in Jamaica has been a vexing issue in post-emancipation Jamaica. Our forebears were forced to settle informally. This is the part I want you people to understand. This matter of Cooper's Pen, this matter of many of our Jamaicans being squatters, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't our fault. This writer was very cheeky. He started off one way and then he went into the history of it. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamaicans didn't get up and decided to become squatters. We were forced to illegally settle on. You know what? I think this was the plan against black people all along. I believe this was an agenda from the very beginning to keep black people poor. I'm gonna say it, ladies and gentlemen. I know some persons may disagree with me, but I'm looking very deep into this. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. If our former colonial master was so interested in seeing to it that we received wealth and true independence, why didn't they allow us to formally settle from the very beginning? They didn't do that, ladies and gentlemen. They did not do that. They didn't formalize the thing from day one. I believe this was a plot to keep black people in generational poverty. It was a wicked act. You forced the people to live informally for years too. So you create a culture of informal settlement. The psychological warfare, ladies and gentlemen, it is real. Our forebears were forced to settle informally on unused or abandoned estates, which was more or less tolerated by the colonial authorities. Thus, a long tradition of occupation without title ensued. I believe that this tradition has reached a critical juncture in Jamaica today. If this, ladies and gentlemen, wasn't the fault of our forefathers, why do we treat people like how we treat them today? We buck down them house. We have to look at the root of the problem. We have to look at the root of the problem. So, one of the things that I like to say about this Cooper-Spence-Trelawney issue, it is unfortunate. It is unfortunate. But let us not demonize the people and look down on them. I see George Davis still trying to justify what he said. Sir C, he said something again today, you know. Boy, them a beat him. But you deserve it, George Davis. You're under pressure. You should. And you could have just came out and apologized, you know. Even if you didn't mean it. Even if you didn't mean it, George Davis, you could have come out and just apologize. But you're trying to justify, and your voice starts shake. You start talk with your hands because you are under pressure, because it did not sounded good at all. No matter how you want to spin it, Nationwide posted the 26 seconds of you laughing at squatters. That conversation, the entire conversation about squatting in Jamaica, came out of the Cooper's Pen debacle. You cannot go around and gaslight people for calling you out, for laughing at squatters. Our local economy, ladies and gentlemen, is under siege. Listen to this from The Economist.
Partner says the effects of the current water shortage and agricultural production will compound the financial stress that Jamaicans are likely to face in the coming months. He says consumers should expect to pay more for farm produce and over an extended period.
Coupled with the current hydrological and meteorological drought currently being experienced by the island, the inflation outlook is skewed towards the upside, particularly in the domestic agricultural sector, and prices may be elevated for longer than initially anticipated, especially since the full effects of this El Nino weather phenomenon are yet to be ascertained. The agriculture and water sectors, therefore, will have to build even greater resilience going forward, given this confluence of negative shocks.
The Bank of Jamaica said headline inflation rose to 7.5% in July from 6.7% in June, marking a second consecutive month above the central bank's 4 to 6% target range.
Ladies and gentlemen, expect some hard times. You know, ladies and gentlemen in the diaspora, please to pray for your fellow Jamaicans. Please. Those who are out here, because it is going to get difficult. A lot of the farmers are crying out. They are not getting the support that they need from the Ministry of Agriculture. We know that there is a dry spell on the country. We know that there is a lot of limitations now as to how you can use the water. It is sad, ladies and gentlemen. It is sad, but unfortunately, this is our reality. This is our reality. I saw Mr. Samuda talking about the beaches. And there was this man on TikTok that addressed it. Let's see if we can get that clip in the studio as well. We want to hear what he had to say. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. I'm hoping that when Parliament reopens, we will see a fire reignited among our representatives. Of course, they deserve the rest. But there's just so much for us to unpack when Parliament reopens. There's so much to debate, and I want us all to be ready to tune into Parliament. I'm going to try my best to stream some of the parliamentary sittings, but there's so much for us to unpack. It is serious. I saw a little clip of democratic socialism. As I said before, I want us to keep these conversations alive, so every now and again I'll just remind my viewers about what it is. It's a short video here, yes, a little cartoon like video. I believe it did well in just breaking down in very, very simple ways what it is all about. After that, we're going to get to some other matters before we bring the curtains down tonight. Blessings to you, Shanika. You're just joining. Yes, coming in from work. Well, thank you for joining. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, like up the live. Listen to this video.
No term is misused in American politics more than the word socialism. Liberals use it to describe countries like Norway and Denmark, while conservatives use it as a slur to criticize things like minimum wage increases and Medicare for all. Fox News once even used it to criticize billionaire investor Warren Buffett when he publicly supported raising taxes on the very wealthy.
Warren Buffett wrote an op-ed. Is he completely a socialist?
Is Warren Buffett a socialist? You really have no clue what socialism is, do you?
Unfortunately, most Americans have no clue what socialism is either, and they definitely don't know how democratic socialism fits into the whole picture. Even though traditional definitions of socialism don't actually fit the current political narratives in the US, let's take a look at where these terms came from. Historically speaking, socialism was seen as somewhat of a halfway point between capitalism and communism. Under this spectrum, democratic socialism fits somewhere in between capitalism and socialism, and the policies that Bernie Sanders and AOC are proposing, things like Medicare for all and free college, would fall somewhere between capitalism and democratic socialism, an area that analysts typically call social democracy. So what do all these terms mean? Capitalism is all about letting the free market generate unlimited profits for corporations and individuals. The downside of capitalism is that when it's unregulated, it leads to things like child labor, contaminated air and water, and the concentration of wealth in the hands of very few. Communism is about creating a classless society with absolute equality, where the government dictates the price, supply, and distribution of goods. The downside of communism is that the only practical way to redistribute wealth with absolute equality is by force. So these governments usually end up becoming authoritarian regimes. Socialism arose as an attempt to merge the best parts of capitalism with the best parts of communism. The traditional definition of socialism basically says that there should be some free market systems to determine supply and demand of products, but that the government should own the country's major industries so that the people can benefit from most of the wealth. The downside to socialism is that it's very vulnerable to corruption. If the people running the traditional socialist system are corrupt, then these types of socialist governments will also skew towards authoritarianism. So what about democratic socialism? Democratic socialists still believe in social ownership of major industries, either through the government or through worker alliances, but they reject two main aspects of traditional socialism. One, they sharply reject any type of undemocratic or authoritarian system. And two, they reject the Soviet-style planned economies, where the government determined the price and supply of goods. There's a lot of debate about what exactly democratic socialism entails, but in essence, democratic socialists believe that workers should enjoy a larger share of the profits that they are helping to generate. They also believe that strong social safety nets are essential for the stability and long-term growth of society. It's interesting to note that America's most famous self-described democratic socialist, Bernie Sanders, is opposed to the idea that the government should own the country's major industries, which in economic terms are called the means of production.
So the next time that you hear me attacked as a socialist, remember this. I don't believe government should take over, the grocery store down the street or own the means of production. But I do believe that the middle class and the working families of this country who produce the wealth of this country deserve a decent standard of living and that their incomes should go up, not down.
When looking at the policies that Bernie Sanders is proposing, things like an increasing minimum wage, Medicare for all, and free college education, most analysts agree that these ideas fall in line with the successful policies of the Nordic countries, where they call themselves social democracies. Social democracies are basically capitalist systems with really strong social safety nets. So what can you do? It's important to look at the actual policies that each candidate is proposing and not just the words they're throwing around. For example, just because North Korea calls itself a democratic republic and the rapper Dr. Dre calls himself a doctor does not mean that North Korea is anything close to a democracy, nor should you seek medical advice from Dr. Dre. Also, let's remember that most countries in the world have mixed economies, and none of them fit neatly into one economic model. The word socialism has basically lost all practical meaning in political discourse, so it's ultimately up to us to determine what it means based on who is using it and the policies that they are supporting. Peace.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was just a little snippet of us having a better understanding of the different terminologies. These things are very important for us to understand. Ladies and gentlemen, we just have a few more things to discuss. Look at what is happening in St. Anne. This man captured the footage here. And I just want to warn us again about NARA. I believe NARA is already at work, That's my unpopular opinion. I think NARA is on work. NARA is already working. Yes. It is already working. But we wait to hear what the authorities will say. But there's a lot of things happening in this country that a lot of us are not aware of.
Then do take with the people and run them off of their land and build up blows and security for them rich friends. See them there? So what them do? So Jamaican can't enjoy them own tourism because them sell it out for white people. Yeah man, I feel all the things in my eye glass. I don't go and think it's the same way, man. Yeah man, all the things in my eye glass. All I feel like my eye glass, I don't go and think it's the same way, man. I have to know way like Burger King. Hear me told you? Yeah man. See which one me there? Right in front of the sea. Yeah man, you can go catch fish and swim when we're ready. Big up on yourself to all of the real one, man, the true supporters. Them. I see me big up on yourself.
And there are many more videos like this going on in our country. A lot of persons don't know. A lot of major developments are taking place in this country, ladies and gentlemen. You realize I don't hear much about Nara anymore. Nara came with this big bang. And then Nara, it has become just a quiet thing. What is Nara doing? Christine Nemhard, blessings to you. Where is Nara? We don't hear nothing about Nara anymore. Where is the CEO of Nara? Shouldn't this have been the organization or the body? To see to it that the hurricane victims are rescued? Shouldn't Nara have been the body, ladies and gentlemen, to meet the people where they are? You think Nara is lacking funds? You really think of funds Nara lacking, Audrey? I believe that Nara is in operation and a lot of things are going to be done, and then them come and tell what Nara already do. The opposition will not be consulted really. Although I hear so there is a representative on that is supposed to be working on Nara. So we want to hear what is happening with Nara. But I strongly believe, ladies and gentlemen, that Nara start work long time. Somebody said Nara escaped in nearby bushes. We don't hear nothing about Nara. Shouldn't the CEO of Nara be giving us updates weekly as to where Nara is? The last thing I heard was that for the first 100 days, they are building out the organization. For the first 100 days, them supposed to have built out the organization. And all now we can't hear nothing. Although we not reach I don't think we reach the 100 days yet. But we not far. We not far. But we don't hear nothing, ladies and gentlemen. And I am very concerned. One of the things you have to recognize with the Jamaica Labour Party government, ladies and gentlemen, you see when them get quiet, it has been 86 days since June 1st. 86 days since June 1st. June 1st was when Tony was appointed as CEO. 86 days since Tony became CEO of Nara. I reminded you all that this was the promise of Anthony Anderson, that for the first 100 days we are going to build out the organization so that they can begin the work to help the hurricane victims. So while people are suffering in Jamaica, ladies and gentlemen, while so many hurricane victims still not getting assistance from the government, still not get no tent, still not get no house, still not get nothing, everybody have to be sitting down waiting until Nara makes sense before we can expect any assistance. Marshy, turn me down in the background and go ahead.
Yeah. Remember, you know, that the CEO of Nara never know anything about Nara, what to do. So then we said him going to Peru.
Oh, yes, him did go Peru, yes.
Yes. Him come back yet?
Why? Good question, Marshy. I would think so.
There was a earthquake down in the part of the world, you know. So I don't know if him survive.
Yes. Him go Peru to study how to fix the road them after major floodings. Him never know how to do that.
Yeah. And he was such a well-trained man. Army man, head of the army, head of the police force, him as an ambassador, and maybe him is a whatever right now. That's why him never use. So, something alright.
We don't hear nothing about it, Marshy. We don't hear nothing about Nara. We don't know whether Wagwan. How much money in a Nara now? Money in a Nara now?
We don't know what we just don't know what
we don't know.
Then just come up with democratic socialism and use it to divert people attention from what take place. So you realize what the economy, you can't hear nothing from a finance minister.
Can't hear nothing from we're in a recession, Marshy. Where is the Minister of Finance?
And we can't hear nothing from the Minister of Finance. I wonder if she's having a pro-box moment.
Probably a pro-box moment indeed.
But with the backside is going on in Jamaica. Nothing, you have a finance minister in a crisis like this. And you can't hear nothing like this crisis. Eh?
We're in a recession. No, sir.
Nobody can tell me anything. Every projected revenue is down. We export is down. We import is up. The LIE is up. You know, because we can't hear nothing. What really happened?
Lord have mercy.
What happened? Tony, come and talk to us now.
Yes.
And we need to hear something soon.
Soon, they don't even know what.
Learn is taken away, left, right, and center. Prime Minister put Bobby Montague at land, and he would go around and he would check out all the beach land them, and check out all the other parts of land them where the one of them deceased and can't hear nothing on Bobby Montague now. We tell him how to do the robbery. Because in a plain and straight language, you know, man, they make a beach run the bush, you know. Bobby Montague got to walk around and go in a land agency and find out all well land and thief well land them, you know.
Lord
that's all
of
the man them do, you know. Why that work Bobby Montague? Hey, by the way, Bobby Montague, what happened to that money, that airport money there, Bobby? Where do that, Bobby? What money there, Bobby Montague? Bobby Montague, what happened? What happened to the rest of the police use car money? Wait there. You want this other criminal law named Darrell Bars. What happened to the rest of the school bus money? What them thing that there? I want to divert people to attention now to other thing. What really have gone? But the long and short, the finance minister can't be so silent.
Lord have mercy.
In an economic crisis like this, no man, something wrong. It's time we take it to them.
Yes.
Enough is enough. Enough is and I'm saying to the PNP right now, when they go back to Parliament and the arts question, and if Mr. Agnes are shutting it down.
No man, a different thing. No, hey Marshy, it has to be a very different parliament, you know.
As long as no bill no they want one of the arts question, one of the vote for. If Mr. Agnes are shutting it down, take it to the road and we're not a journalist. Because if you're not a journalist, call the blogger, make the blogger them do the interview, make them ask you guys the question. Because you cannot leave those crosses over nationwide to come and ask labor right question. We want Jamaican question where we can hear what take place. So then you want Mr. Agnes try to shut it down, walk out of Parliament and take it to the roadside. And then the blogger will come and will ask the relevant question because it won't come from nationwide.
My God.
IRFM, keep up your good behavior, IRFM. You can ask the question. CVM, me not too trust. TVJ, totally dead. The others don't make no sense because you have one and two people. When you call their name now, just say them a leaver. You can't ask Gabriel to ask a question because Gabriel come over Sleek Radio just to carry the jail fee line. So you have to ask somebody else to ask the question. So ask the blogger them. Don't use journalists again. Because Nationwide is going to send their blogger because there is nothing over the name journalist.
Lord have
nothing.
Mercy.
Absolutely nothing in Nationwide is journalists. So you have to send blogger to ask question now. We want to hear from the finance minister. What the state of the economy? what they are well, what the finance minister, I don't know, but since them put up Fayval Williams, Fayval Williams, since I see them put up. Ask her some questions we want to know what you're going to do to grow the economy. We need to know. We want to know. We want to know. All right, Brother Perry.
Thank you, Marshy. It is a silent government. Silent night. Not a holy night, though. I have to stop the song right there. Yes? I have to stop the song right there. Because it's not a holy night under the Anjolness administration. You know? But, ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister is silent on the Cooper's Pen situation. The Minister of Finance is silent on the recession that we are experiencing in this country. The economy is crashing. Nobody not saying anything. The people in Cooper's Pen still live under the tent them. A lot of hurricane victims. All know them not getting assistance from the government. People are still living literally in holes. On the dirt floor. That is the reality for many Jamaicans today. Where is the Jamaica Labour Party government to tell the people what is happening in the country? Nobody now talk. Huh? Marie, blessings.
Yes, I know them in a recession, Brother P. But let me tell you, everything Jamaica is on pause. The administration is in recession. Because we not hear nothing. Because when you school, you know what? Look on it. School for open in another week or so. We have this crisis. Because I'm scrolling, I'm reading, you know, the parents at Heidel not too pleased with their children, you know, being transferred over to Cumberland for whatever reason, you know. So that is a crisis right there. And number one, and then Punkos Pampankas, the education system was already in a crisis.
Yes.
You understand? A lot of schools are not ready for September morning, and on top of this, you know, I'm reading one parent says she's thinking about homeschooling her child, you know, maybe she's in a position to do that, you know. Some people apart from, you know, things, nuances here and there, you know, we don't want to be one to spread tears out of school, but, you know, certain nuances with schools and stuff like that, because as I said, you know, we have an apartheid educational system and whatever. So some people might not want their children being traversed into certain communities and all of that. So, you know, it's like a crisis right there. So, and we're not hear nothing, you know. And the people them say, you know, them just tell them about this either May or June, you know, the heights of it. So a lot of people are in a quandary right now in what to do with their children come September morning. And it's high school. We're talking about children that are even vulnerable. But you don't know, Brother P, when we have children of a certain age, they are even more vulnerable and susceptible to things. You know, because a lot of parents feel very safe when them know say, when we step out a morning time, whatever, me and the people them must step out, and I can guarantee that for the next 6 hours or so, let me say I know where they are at. You understand me, Brother P?
Yes.
Parents feel comfortable now because, you know, them, you know, what am I going to do with the people them? Yeah, we're talking about teenagers here and stuff like that, you know, which are me say both sexes are very vulnerable. I'm not going to put one over the other. But yeah, we all know, you know, how the societies go. You know, parents will feel more, feel that their daughters will be more at risk.
Yes.
You understand, my brother?
Yeah.
So they want to be sure. So I know my girl picking day for the next how much hours. This is what I talk about, you know? And you want to know where the boy them they too. You understand me? Because you know want them falling in the wrong hands. You know, when them got them itch up somewhere where them somebody teach them how to be a good criminal or you know whatever. So I don't know what you know this society. You know, it depends on pause. You know, it depends. I know the Fayval. When you're not about Fayval, she depends on pause. She depends on pause. You know, as what you're saying, just when Parliament open back, this opposition have to be very, very robust, you know.
Yeah, man, it's a different thing.
Yeah, so much stuff that has happened over this over this holiday session that I hate us. So them have to be, I know them and listen, and they hear the cries out there of the people. Cause everybody has suffer right now. We have Cooper's Pit, we have land problem, we have so much stuff. So the opposition has to be very, very robust when them walk down Garden Street, down Duke Street.
Yes.
Again, go into that House of Parliament. It cannot be business as usual, brother P. You understand me?
True.
As soon as everybody turn off the mic, when they can't get it across, when I'm going to go argue for the Jamaican people, I'm going to say Jamaica, I'm not talking about no political party. Yeah, when I'm going to go argue, because right now, the country now run right.
True.
You understand me, brother? Country now run right at all. So I could see what going to happen. I went Parliament at open, by the way.
I think it is September, one of the days in September. I don't remember which day.
When school are okay.
Yeah.
So you know them up them sharp, no put on them shoes, pull up them socks. You understand, my brother? Cause them have to go in there for go defend vociferously. You know the things affecting the Jamaican people from land to school to finance. Them things that are like three main things there right now. And all water to brother P.
Oh yes.
All water one main thing too. Why is that whole thing? The whole system. Right now, you know, so them happy. Whoever have them portfolio, when they take out on the full line, you know, you can go back to school and a new term. And you look through your book them and sometimes you do like a revision. You understand me? Do like a revision and say and no say this what we have to go in and go argue for we the Jamaican because that's what you have been elected to do, for going there, you know, to represent your constituencies, both sides, whether JLP, to represent Jamaicans, we can put it that way then. So all right, brother.
All right, thank you, Marie. Betty, I see you in the chat. You say, I believe Anjoles is after the Coney Park Hydel property, hence they are closing the school. I believe Nara might have an interest in that property in the name of reconstruction and resilience. Let us see. I just believe that's what I believe that Nara will be playing a part in it. I wonder if they will tell us what Nara will be doing specifically. Will they be naming all the projects that Nara will be doing? Ladies and gentlemen, I saw this young man on TikTok responding to the Minister of Water. Listen to this.
To a beach. You have the law of the sea that governs how anyone in the ocean or operating in the ocean, certainly from a fishing perspective, a sailing perspective, or anyone that finds themselves in the ocean must be treated. But this is birthright thing that you guys repeat often is just not so. It's not legally grounded.
I hope enemy alone notice that is a white guy that is a British, England-born white guy in Matthew Samuda telling me so me now have a birthright to my beach as a Jamaican while the entire world have a birthright to them beach and to them shores. Look at his face. Look at the indignation on the man's face, the anger. How upset he is that the little plebs like we, black people, are demand rights to our beaches. I mean, who for boss this? Who for boss this? Want to bring come in here to terrorize we and tell us. A matter of fact, when he's making these decisions with powerful people and other white people like himself. You see, colonialism didn't end. We just had a process that we call independence. And now this is the new colonists. This is the new colonialism. That is why it's so intensified. That is why you see land close to beaches people being uprooted. That is why you see what you're seeing in Cooper's Pen, and there's no accountability. This is why you're seeing Old Para. That is why you're seeing what you're seeing in Parity all to take place. This is why you see what happened in the coastline. That is why what that happened to Montego Bay. This is what is happening all over Jamaica wherever there's a coastline. They're seeking to enrich themselves and they're seeking to punish us. It's almost like pain is the point and discomfort is the point to drive us into submission to saying, hey, all right, we no bother want to defend them rivers, yeah? We no bother want to try for them water sources. You talk about water sources, you realize that we have a country that's rich in water, but us the poor people don't have access to water. Don't bother feel like you're in the same boat with them people that have the money. You're not. They will be all right. They will call a water truck when and if they have a problem. Right? And if needs be, water sources might be diverted to them because they are ruling class and they have the talk. Once again, that's a white guy from Britain in Matthew Samuda telling us that we can't have access to our beaches. And he's being disingenuous because he's saying that the Beach Control Act does not give us that right. Hey, newsflash, we all agree to that, but you don't want to face the real issue where we're saying that we should get rid of the Beach Control Act, because that's the question that was asked him, and the question was asked of him, whether we should have rights to our beaches and what should happen, and whether we have a birthright. But so he harps on the Beach Control Act and saying that's the act, when we are asking and demanding that the government jettison and destroy and throw away that act. But he's talking about the act, he's creating his own question and his own ideas of what the issue should be. When we're saying Matthew Samuda, Andrew Holness, Ed Bartlett, Mark Golding, and all the powers that be, if we're not serious about beach control, about beach rights, we would have said the words to get rid of the old law, but none of them want to get rid of the old law because it serves you and it serves your benefactors and it serves the rich and it serves the well-connected and it serves you to continue to have your boots and your foot on our neck. Come off our neck. We need to have access and ownership, a matter of fact, to all.
Vote for PNP, sir. I know you're angry. I know you're angry, but the People's National Party, we spoke about getting access to the beaches. It is the PNP's manifesto that showed us all the ideas of ensuring that Jamaicans would have access to their beaches. I remember when Isaac Buchanan was fighting against the powers that be to privatize certain places in East Portland. But uno no want vote for the People's National Party. Uno just want sit down. Them are going to call Mark. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the PNP is the Superman of Jamaica, apparently. When there is trouble in Jamaica, everybody ball pan PNP and Mark Golding for save Jamaica. You don't realize it. All when Mark Golding is not the Prime Minister, all when the PNP is not in government, people will always call on the People's National Party to save them. Just like some people now are call upon Mark Golding to save them. And I'm not talking to you directly, sir. I don't know who you voted for. You probably did vote for PNP. I don't know who you vote for. I'm just saying. A lot of Jamaicans heard the plans to ensure that the people of Jamaica would have access to our beaches. I'm not telling any lie. Lord of mercy. See the people them a ball, ladies and gentlemen. See it ya? The People's National Party states in its Mission Jamaica Love Manifesto that public beach access is a fundamental right for all citizens rather than an optional privilege. Reading from the PNP's manifesto. This was also carried on Radio Jamaica News. Here are the core stances of the PNP. It is a citizen's right. The PNP maintains that ordinary Jamaicans must have free and unhindered entry to the nation's coastline and marine assets. Equitable development. The party pushes against unregulated coastal development and the commercialized privatization of beaches that exclude local families and traditional fishers. Democratic socialism that policy influence. PNP officials have noted that their platform proposals on preserving public spaces have helped force national dialogue and action regarding government beach policies. Ladies and gentlemen, the PNP spoke at length regarding this same issue of beach access. So I get where you're coming from, sir. But when you say Mark Golding nah do nothing, him can't do nothing if he's not Prime Minister. Why we not going ball for Mark Golding? Mark Golding is not the Prime Minister. We don't have the majority in the Parliament to make the laws and the rules and to pass the bills and to do all of that. We don't have the power to do so, sir.
All these resources, which are public resources and common resources. No one should own the beach. A matter of fact, no one should own the land so closely connected to the beach. It's not our fault that you guys decided to be colonists and decided to support the colonists. We're saying that we don't care about those old laws because those old laws say that we should be shackled or blocked from our beaches. We should just sit down and take that. No, you're in a position of power to change that, and you need to change that. If you don't change that, you're for them and not for us. You have to choose colonialism or choose emancipation. You can't have both Andrew Holness. You can't have both Mark Golding. You can't have both Mattis Amuda. You can't have both Ed Bartlett. All right? So make up your mind. You support the people or you support the minority that have the power and the wealth and resources. You want to help us or you want to continue to enrich our colonizers? Make a decision.
It is a fallacy to say there is no beach access or that beach access is being infringed upon.
As I end the program tonight, Mark Jefferson Golding, the People's National Party, included in their manifesto that access to beach should be treated as a right for every citizen. Mark Golding was going to change the policies and ensure that we get back to real democratic socialism where everybody could get a piece of the pie. But the people them say, give me the KFC and the $5,000. Them say 1 p.m. Now 1 p.m. is 3 a.m. And them still ask Mark Golding to fix it. Listen, I have no problem with you asking for Mark Golding to fix it. The only problem I have is when you people don't vote for Mark Golding. He cannot fix it unless he is Prime Minister. Mark Golding is not going to come here and play no vigilante. Mark Golding is not no Batman where people are do crime and violence and him supersede him work outside of the police force and take matters in him own hands in a one illegal way. Because a lot of persons don't understand, no. Batman in the cartoon, Batman is supposed to go around and not beat up criminal. He's not the police. He's not the authority. Mark Golding is not the Prime Minister. He doesn't have the power to enforce that type of change. We're not going to turn Mark Golding into Batman. Turn Mark Golding into the Prime Minister of this country so that he can bring the change. Mark Golding is not going to go beyond the limits or the boundaries of his role as opposition leader is the opposition leader. He doesn't have the majority. So for all those who believe that Mark Golding can change the policies and impact the lives of Jamaicans and bring all the cause to your ball for Mark Golding there. So if you believe that Mark Golding can bring the change, ensure that you vote for the People's National Party next election. Get your family to vote for the People's National Party next election. Get your friends to vote for the People's National Party next election, because under the JLP administration, you have a problem with them locking the people out of our beaches. So, let us not just sit and cry and ask for Mark Golding to help us. Help us, Mark. Help us, Golding. Help us, Golding. Put him in the office of the Prime Minister. And then you can ball upon him. But don't ball upon him. No. No. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of time tonight. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Join me tomorrow at 3 p.m. for Clarion Call. Yes, and at 6 p.m. for another interesting evening program. Thank you for those who supported the super chat here. Barry Clark, blessings. Thank you. Let us pray. Father, we give you thanks for another program this evening. Thank you for the help to get through this broadcast. Lord, I pray that you will really and truly look down on Jamaica and turn some things around. There are a lot of concerns. A lot of people are wondering what Jamaica is up to. Where is Jamaica going? We're in a recession. We're not hearing anything from the relevant individuals from the different portfolios. It is a very dark time in this country. But Lord, we're praying for light. We're praying that you will look down and turn things around for your people. Lord, we pray that you will bless everybody who continues to support this platform. Barry, I pray, Lord, that you will return unto Barry 100-fold as he continues to support this channel. Bless the viewers, bless the subscribers as we continue to grow from strength to strength. These and other mercies we ask of you. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you, everybody. Remember to continue liking the live as we go. Hey, we're going to go out with Mark Jefferson Golding singing. Yes, man. A wonderful performance by Mark Golding. See you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.
Whenever you cry, I cry too. Oh, think of me, and I'll sing by you. Mix it up, girls. Boy, you know what's in my youth. I love it so forever. Big up to Joshua. I've been trying this long time, still I can't make it. Everything I try to do, it seems to go wrong. Seems like I've done something wrong. Why they're trying to keep me down. Oh, God bless, no one cares. They got a lot of words. Bitter must come one day. Bitter must come. They can conquer it. Bitter must
close out this short set, I want to do a special dedication to two of Jamaica's great singer-songwriters. I refer to, of course, the late great Pluto Shervington and the one and only Ernest Smith. So make I feel it late, but it's not my fault. I will reach my terminus. When we have us going to when we come and go down by the roundabout. I just a sing, not survive. I read I run to the roads and start to shout. They told that they went by 1 pound of rice. Good people, good thing. Nice man, big love, everything you got. Only you want to do the mind to your power. We make it happen. We make it happen. Walk and talk. When the news spread fast like a telegram, nobody know where this food come from. Me raise a fat and a one from a Japan. Who sit out all of that? 2,000 bags of wine. I think I am a banana king. I mean, why put the waters of wine? Give me 4 times. Good people, good thing. Nice man, really good thing. Everything you got. Come in, go and just do the mind in your heart. We make it happen. We make it happen. Rock and roll. Good thing. Nice man, really good thing. Everything you got. Come in, go and just do the mind in your heart. We make it happen. We make it happen. Rock and roll. Good thing. Really good thing. Oh yeah. Come in, go and just do the mind in your heart. We make it happen. We make it happen.